Hello, my beautiful collective. It's Kai. Let's start with the disclaimer. This is all just based on my own experience. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what works best for you. Okay? So please use your discernment when you're consuming my content or any content in general. You act like you're high maintenance. It's not a standard, it's a foundation. There's no need to go to the breaking point because literally it'll just break you. You're talking to the wrong fucking person when you keep asking for the same shit over and over again. These are all things that I feel like I've learned by, yes, communicating, making an effort to have a conversation, to understand the differences, to see if we're even compatible as people. I was writing down a few notes. Burnout, you've taken too much, so much it's almost unnatural. Without balance, things become toxic. It's not high maintenance, it's having a different strategy. Just because you're strong enough doesn't mean that you need to carry it. And maybe just because of the fact that you're strong enough, there's a possibility that you're carrying it wrong. That's where it's not this egotistical, like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's that this doesn't work for me anymore. And I'm making an effort to help you understand that. And if there is no fucking space for you to literally be yourself, if asking for your needs is too much for a person, right? Quote unquote, too much. With all due respect, take that as their answer and walk away. You act like you're high maintenance. You keep acting like it. It's like you understand and you see it and you delve into that, you develop that in your own life where you're actually just taking care of yourself, literally. Literally, it's just that you're taking care of yourself in your own way. Pick your battles wisely. Your energy is so fucking valuable. Even being upset with someone requires energy. And I was recognizing that today in a situation, and I was just like, no, like, I'm not even gonna be upset about this. Like, literally. And it's not like, oh, it's not worth my time. Like, no, it's literally like that is just me expelling more energy. Anger is such a sacred emotion, in my perspective. Because it's like I get to alchemize that. And it teaches me where my boundaries are. There's a difference between feeling safe and feeling comfortable. It's identifying what feels familiar to you. I felt like, for me at least, being so familiar with pursuing certain people that it became a normality to be rejected, for example, right? When in reality, I was talking and I was pursuing the wrong fucking people in general. Just because someone really likes you, right? It doesn't mean that you need to like them. There's a really big thing that I feel like I've noticed in terms of being empathic. It doesn't mean being empathic doesn't always equate to identifying with the emotions that you're feeling through another person. Empathy versus sympathy, right? Not putting my pain above another person's or below. Energetic boundaries, being able to also be emotionally mature and regulated, sometimes it requires practice. Give yourself some fucking grace. You act like you're high maintenance when you're not. It's literally just the maintenance care that you do every single fucking day to just show up for yourself. Simply. It's not, oh, or they can't handle too much, or I'm too much. No, it's just that I require this. It's respect for your needs. It's not about this other person, but their response or their reaction to you will teach you It will tell you this information. That's why it's important to see the reality for what it fucking is. And I totally fucking understand. When you really fucking want this person to understand you really prayed and hoped and just pleaded and cried and was vulnerable, and you changed, and it's like you kept showing up and they just kept painting you as this fucking image. Whether it's the past. This is once again based on my own experience, so I'm really not trying to speak for you guys. I'm just sharing and expressing in such a fervent manner simply because of the fact that your needs are not too much. You are not high maintenance. That's not what I believe. I've been building such new connections with people. Newer. More younger. Like little sprouts. They're growing. And that takes co-creation, compatibility, the willingness to care, to be compassionate, to allow people to be, to say sorry, to take accountability, to work together. I feel that, when you just really don't understand how they can't see, how some people maybe can't see how their actions are hurting you. And it's like you could explain yourself every single fucking day to the person, whatever the fuck situation that you're applying this to. But like you could explain yourself every single fucking day. Maybe one day, yeah. That's the potentiality. Everyone has potential for change because nothing is permanent. It's being able to go with the fluctuation and flows of relationships that I feel like was probably one of the hardest things. That I was just so attached. I was just so, not even attached, I just had this grip on it without even realizing, when I was so tense all the fucking time because I couldn't understand why they would give up. That was my perception in the past, right? And then I realized when there was literally no choice because I felt so fucking broken. It reached this point where I broke. And it's like you don't need to go to that point. And it makes me kind of emotional because when you're so used to that environment, it requires different choices and it takes consistency to literally teach yourself. And I don't mean just through the serendipitous connections that you meet people who show you that it's not a lot of work, that it's so simple to them, that they literally get it the moment that you just you don't even say anything. You don't even fucking need to say anything. It's not about quantity. It's about quality time, quality people. It's not about proving yourself to others. It's about being, non-judgment, discussions, openness, vulnerability, being able to talk about the things that you enjoy, relaxing and resting in connections. Who knows what's gonna fucking happen in the future? I don't know if these people are still gonna be in my life moving forward. I don't know that. It's about my own discernment with myself. Am I welcoming them into my space? I remember someone said to me, or said in a group setting, that love is a choice. In my perspective, love is a practice. Because when you feel like you need to teach yourself again what love really feels like and what that means to you, then you can actually make that choice. Because if you don't actually know what it means or feels like, if it doesn't feel safe in the past, and then you had to learn those things, then it just becomes this level of awareness that you get to tap into. So that self-love, that love with your community, with your people, your confidants, those who you really connect with. Not this complacent, repetitive cycle of giving people chances. It's not a chance. Everything is chance. It's a choice. It's a conscious fucking choice. When you feel like you're being high maintenance, right? Like I was saying, I feel like that really showed me, it actually requires me to put more effort into this connection for anything to even, And it really is that whole like giving too much and not receiving anything. And that is definitely a lesson that I've had to learn. It's like, bro, like, why do you keep giving to these fuckers when literally they're not giving anything back? And I don't mean this in a way where it's like what they're doing doesn't mean anything, but it's truly one of those things where like, if you really know what you value, or at least understand what you value, then you can see what that really equates to. When someone's like, for example, like I've met people who really care about the like amount of money that they make, for example, or like, what's another good example? Well, I guess that would be probably the most simple one that I could give. And like, that is just, I'm only laughing because it's just such a silly thing in my perspective. Because it's like, it's energy. It's literally just energy in the physical realm. So that's why I also do practice abstinence, because it's just not meant for me to interact with people casually. I'm also Scorpio, okay? Okay? I'm a Scorpio Sun, a Scorpio Mercury, but sorry, the spiritual side's coming out. I really just can't casually do that. Like, I can't do that to myself. And there were moments where I was like, like, let's just give this a shot. And it literally just fucking shat all over everything. And I felt like a trash bag. And that was like, literally like, I honestly, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. Okay, actually, no, I definitely have. But but it was just such a new experience that I was literally like, nope, now I know. It's those kinds of things where I'm recognizing that I what the fuck is this? Oh my god, that scared me. Oh my god. Oh, I thought that was a huge ass. What the freak? Like if I were to tell you guys sorry, just a little side quest story. I fell off my skateboard one time and I had to go to the ER, and I woke up and I literally had clumps of blood in my hair. So that just like reminded me of that. I just got bruh, what the fuck? Anyways, besides the fucking point. But I wrote this because I was learning from one of my senseis, and they were just saying a lot of really profound things. And I teach kids how to rock climb, so fitness and health, nutrition is a really big part of my life. I also did struggle with an ED in the past, besides the point. But it says you're strong enough to carry this, but you're carrying it wrong. Because when like you work out and like you just don't have the proper form, so you're literally you're stressing out your body, in other words. And that's how I feel like it can translate in certain emotional or interpersonal connections with people. It's like you're communicating so much. You have very strong abilities to communicate clearly, but you're talking to the wrong fucking person. Because it's like, your words are valuable. Your presence, your emotions, they're valid. And it's like, when someone doesn't acknowledge your fucking existence, for example, why do we do that? Why is that a conscious choice that we make when you know exactly how you're motherfucking feeling from that? And like, I feel like I was living unconsciously by constantly choosing these people who may ignore me or like dismiss me or not value the things that I value, or maybe like honestly kind of like dehumanize me a little bit. A little bit, who am I kidding? A lot. And it's crazy because it's like no matter how many times I've tried to open up pretty much the can of worms, I recognize like, there's no need to consistently keep doing this. They have told me, shown me how they're going to interact with me in this present moment. I don't like to assume things, even though I read like tarot for people, which is kind of like contradictory, I guess, but like it really shows me that like there are infinite possibilities, because when I'm opening myself up and I don't judge people, in other words, or choose not to judge people, because obviously there are moments where I judge myself. So it's like ego is a thing that helps you develop in this literal existence. Your soul decided to come to this earth. Just another preface, I am spiritual, so I mean, I don't even know if like people don't see that at this point, but whatever. A lot of that thing where it's like valuing yourself, being able to speak up. Sometimes in certain moments in the past, it did require me to actually practice that, to build strength, right? Because it's like I didn't know how to say no to people, because that didn't translate to no in the past for me. So whenever I said no, in other words, it didn't mean no, it was responded with, you have to do it anyways, suck it up. And then I started to actually like go out into the world and learn that, oh, boundaries are actually respected by certain people who respect you, people who wish to have you in their lives still. And I hope this video is just like this understanding of like letting go of people is just as important as welcoming new people and building and cultivating relationships. Being able to release past versions of yourself, things that maybe you didn't even know you were identifying with, but then at the same time you kept demonstrating to yourself that you're gonna do that. I hope that makes sense, because it's like, I feel like that was one of the biggest things where I was like not choosing differently, really. Even though my intention was changing, my choice was staying the same. The physicality does matter. Just because it's like, especially being spiritual, there are a lot of things that are just like thrown around, right? So it's like, oh, like, what's a good example? I guess maybe like money doesn't matter. I don't know why I want to put it like that, but I'm gonna say it like that. It's like, money does matter. It's literal matter. You know what I mean? So it's like, it exists. So why would I invalidate the existence of something that is here, that's real, that I can exchange, that I can evolve with, that I can bring more abundance and wealth into my life, just because the amount might not be the same, right? So it's kind of like processing, being able to let go of the scarcity mindset, having a better relationship with money, for example, right? I feel like I'm kind of straying away, but also staying connected to what I was saying before. But truly, it is that, it's like that scarcity mindset with yourself. Not putting up with the same fucking behavior. I just hope this like idea gets across, because like I really firmly believe in the fact that everything is meant to be as it's meant to be. And if there's something that's challenging me, it's either I need to let go of I need to let go of resistance and relax, or I need to make a different choice and move forward and evolve. And the only way that I've known to evolve is through love. Sometimes it's just love for myself. And it's this choice. It's like the choice of solitude. You're choosing to be alone. That's why it's called solitude. It's not you're feeling lonely, so therefore you isolate yourself. It's literally this, like, invocation. I don't know what that word means, but it's coming through. But it's like it evokes this experience with yourself to understand where you're coming from. Why does this hurt so much? Why does this hurt? Why does this hurt so much? But it doesn't really hurt anymore. I feel like it is one of those things where I'm just like, this is a repeated pattern. I need to actually recognize it for what it is. It's like having a circadian rhythm, you know? Like, we are beings who literally vibrate. We have heat that emanates off of us. And it's our heartbeat is pumping blood. It's literally a personal metronome. And it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy because it's like, wow, I literally don't need to fight this anymore. And I'm choosing my battles wisely because I'm like, I don't need to prove to you that I deserve care. I don't need to prove to you that I deserve presence in someone's life. If that's how I feel, then I'm like, oh, I'm like I'm not feeling drawn to actually connect with you. My ego is just so attached to this past experience. It's literally renegotiating with your ego and being like, hey, I don't know if you're seeing this now, but I'm recognizing this. I want to bring this to your attention because I'm willing to make a different choice, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that. It's almost like you're proving your ego wrong and then simultaneously right, because your ego is just there to protect you. It's making an effort to protect you because it's afraid. It's afraid of this past experience repeating itself when truly nothing fucking repeats itself ever. It's never exactly the same. The circumstances, the variables in the environment are not exactly the same. It's that the ego attached to that experience and is now bringing it into the present moment. And that's why triggers and traumas, PTSD is so fucking real. That's why our brains are so fucking powerful. And I'm just like, wow, I literally wasn't even, I like veiled that part of recognition because I didn't want to admit that I was making this choice that wasn't right for me. In my highest good, in love, in peace and joy. No blame game, no victim mentality, no scarcity mindset. It's I'm going to choose myself because I show myself that. And I'm going to continue to show myself that. So I'm going to evolve and address my form. Because if this is how it's going to continue to formulate in this equation, I will not turn it into a negative on purpose. And that's where you understand that it's a conscious choice. It's not a habit. It's not a tendency. It's something that you are now actively choosing willingly. And I was just like, oh my God, cool. Now I know. And now we make a different choice. This doesn't apply to every single person as like a painting that's already predestined. Which is crazy because like I am very spiritual, so I do also like read about like the like thread of fate, for example, right? You have the free will. That is what makes life so fucking enjoyable, and that is why also there might be things that are completely just a challenge in itself. Step by step, allow your process to unfold, but understand truly you are not high maintenance. You don't have to keep going until you fucking break. Just because maybe that's something you did doesn't mean you need to keep doing that. And I say this with love and support. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me the presence to speak, truly. Thank you for being you. Seriously, thank you for being alive. And I'm sending you guys so much love and support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, collective.